Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Devin Swayze with Sotheby's Realty here in Marco Island, Florida. Today's video is probably going to be one of the most casual, candid, honest, humble, just coming at you guys live and capturing probably one of the most exciting moments that I'm feeling in my career right now. Here we are, it is April in 2025. April represents my 5-year anniversary for my first closed real estate transaction. And this is all coming full circle, and we are documenting today because today is also the day that Naples Real Producers is coming for a video shoot. Actually, not a video shoot, a photo shoot for their magazine. It's a big deal for me. It's exciting. It's all of those feelings, and it has taken so much to get to this point, and the irony of it just coinciding with my 5-year anniversary felt like it was just the perfect moment to create a behind the scenes and tell my story and how I got here and what all of this means to me. So I'm so excited to have with me today my videographer behind the screen that you can't see. He is my dream team. He makes so much of my vision come through. And joining him today is his wife, Margarita, who has a fabulous vision, and they are building their business too. And it just feels really cool to have this support team that has taken so long to build and develop and find my people, and I'm just excited to bring you guys along. Real estate was a passion I had in my younger years. I am from Chicago originally. Real estate represents evenings and weekend hours, and quite honestly, in my younger years, I had an ego and just simply thought that that was not a prestigious enough career. And it's embarrassing now to admit that, but it's the reality and the truth of my story. And so I wanted to get into corporate America. I started by selling Yellow Page advertising. I spent 6 years selling Yellow Page advertising, and I will tell you that is the core to my success in negotiating today. I am talking carbon copy contracts, Rand McNally maps in my front seat, figuring out where I'm going, parking my car, and walking up and down streets, just getting any business owner to talk to me. And I always said that every no got me closer to a yes. And I'm so fortunate for those years because it taught me the backbone to what I believe sales is. It gave me the work ethic. It taught me negotiating. I mean, all of those core sales trainings that you go through, identifying personalities and what's the sales cycle. I was fortunate to win President's Club several times throughout my career with them. And then I wanted to transition into medical device because that just seemed to be the natural progression in which someone like myself with an ego believed to be success. And I was fortunate enough to make my way into that industry, again, experiencing several years of President's Club status, working with high net worth hospital systems in the Chicagoland area. And truly at that point in time in my career, I was recently divorced with a 1 and a 2-year-old living downtown Chicago. And I was very fortunate to be making a solid career in terms of my income. And I had a live-in nanny with me. And unfortunately for me, I would have to be in the OR in the morning before my children ever even woke up. And so there were heartstrings that were being pulled that the nanny was the first face that my children were seeing when they woke up. And all of these things, you think that success in your career is working your way up that corporate ladder and the paycheck you get. And at the end of the day, for me, I was making all this money and I couldn't even enjoy life to spend it. So I booked a last-minute trip to Marco Island to just enjoy vacation with my children. I came to this island and immediately fell in love. I fell in love so much so that I went home, I sold my house, I quit my job. My boss absolutely refused to accept my resignation, and I said, this is it. I'm moving to Marco Island for my kids to start school. And that was my transition to this beautiful island that I get to call home back in 2012. We've lived here now for about 12 years. I'm so fortunate that my children have been able to go through their entire childhood and their schooling here in Marco Island and Naples. I think we moved when they were in preschool and kindergarten. I continued with medical device. However, I just took a step back and removed myself from the hospital sector and instead put myself in doctor's offices. So I was still within a 3-hour driving radius. However, it didn't really require that I was gone early in the morning. I was able to bring my kids to school almost every day. It was this beautiful transition into life for me. And then as life has it, for anyone, this is probably very relatable. Hardship can hit in the oddest ways, and for some of the strongest people that don't expect to find themselves in tough situations. And I will say that I found myself in a less than desirable situation at home, one that I found myself embarrassed of. I didn't know how to continue to be the mom I needed to be to my children as the breadwinner, as the only provider for them, while providing us the safety that I felt was most important for us. And so at that time, I completely took a halt on my career. I resigned because I needed to be there for my children. I needed to figure out where our safety was. And I did all of that without knowing what my next steps were. And I say that to simply just lead into that I'm a big believer that hard things happen to good people for a reason. And they are the stories that propel us forward, that give us the opportunity to grow and develop. And you never think in the moment that you're gonna get past those hard times. And it's so true when they say, work for what you want in life. When you get on the other side of it, it all will make sense and there's all a reason. And that story is what brought me to where I am today. And I will always be forever and truly grateful for that. So during that time, when I resigned from work, I was home with the girls for about a year. So you can imagine somebody like myself who had this wildly successful career, President's Club winner over and over again. I didn't know what my next steps were. And it's very interesting. I'm the house that loves to have all the neighborhood kids over. I like to be the home that's filled with laughter and joy, that has the front door open for the neighbors to walk into. And there was just this one very casual evening that a couple neighbors were over. They were asking about a house, I think that had just listed down the street. And just my natural inclination was I rattled off all the facts about it. It's because it was my hobby. I just didn't quite recognize it at the moment. And it was my daughter, Jaden, who had said in that moment, after I had talked about comps and all the open houses I drugged them to, and she said to me, "Mom, why aren't you a realtor?" And for me, it represents that aha moment in my life. It was the light bulb moment. It was the, oh my gosh, this is what I love. And here is my daughter, the one in a moment where my life felt like it was in chaos, identifying something that was my passion and my love and my hobby. And I just wasn't in a place to see that yet. So I feel emotional because it's just so special to me that Jaden was the one that played a role, because when I talk about success now, I talk about the importance of truly getting to pursue myself, not only in this business capacity. I love working, I love being successful, I love developing and growing a business, all while I also equally love and dream of being a mother. And it's just this conundrum because the universe tells you you can really only do one or the other super successfully. And I have always felt like this anomaly that both of them are just so wildly important to me. And I don't think enough women talk about how amazing and cool and spectacular it is, and it's all possible to be able to do both. And so for me, here I am at my 5-year anniversary. I've written down all these areas of success and how my business got me there. And at the end of the day, the coolest part about all of this is that my children have gotten to see me be this absolute boss babe, overcome trials and tribulations, and they've gotten to be a part of this business with me. Truly, when I say they are a part of this business, in the younger years, they helped stuff envelopes. They put on all the stamps for mailers. They did door hangers for me. They filmed before I would have the pleasure of finding my team, before I could afford to really, truly have that extra expense in knowing I needed to develop my social media and my YouTube. I had my children filming me. So they've seen it all. They are endlessly sitting through car conversations of hearing negotiations and contracts. They are coming with me for all these last minute appointments, and they are learning without realizing that they're learning the power of relationships and networking and all of these beautiful connections that come into place. It's so exciting. It's full circle. I'm so excited that today, April, represents 5 years of my first transaction. And you guys, let me tell you how some of these transactions started, because it's an absolutely wild story that brought me here.